Living to 95 isn't rare anymore. What is rare is having enough income to make it that far. Let's be honest, retirement today is not what it was 20 years ago. People are retiring earlier, living longer, and spending more in retirement than any generation before them. And thanks to medical advances and healthier lifestyles, it's not uncommon to see clients living well into their 90s and even past 100. But here's the problem. Most retirement plans quietly assume that you won't live that long. They're built to last usually until 85 and maybe 90 if you're lucky. And if you outlive your plan, you outlive your money. That's not just uncomfortable, that's devastating, especially if you spent your whole life doing the right things, saving diligently, avoiding debt, living within your means, only to face income insecurity at the exact moment you should be enjoying life the most. Here's the truth. The risk isn't that you'll spend too much, it's that your plan was built to quit before you do. And this is what we're fixing today. If you're new here, I'm Mark Wisneski, president of Southern Incomes, where we help people in or near retirement build plans that are designed to go the distance. And today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest blind spots in retirement planning, longevity risk. Think about it. You've worked 30 or 40 years, saved diligently, and now you're supposed to turn your savings into income that could last 30 years or even more. The stakes are high, and the math gets tricky, especially when you throw in market volatility, rising healthcare costs, inflation, and required minimum distributions that grow every year. That's why today I'm walking you through how to build a retirement income plan designed to last through age 95 or even longer. I'll show you how much you realistically need, why most plans fall short, how to create sustainable withdrawals, and how the wealthy protect their income into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let's dive in, because if you're going to live a long life, you should live it on your terms, not on your portfolios. Part 1, the 3 retirement risks that can break your income plan. 1, longevity risk. That's outliving your money. Let's start with the obvious one. The longer you live, the more money you need. But it's not just about having more dollars in the bank. It's about ensuring that your income is sustainable and doesn't lose purchasing power over time. Here's the thing. If your retirement lasts 20 or 30 years, you're likely going to face multiple market cycles, rising expenses, and unexpected health events. If your plan ends at 85, but you live to 95, that's 10 years of financial stress and reduced lifestyle and dependence on family. Longevity is a risk multiplier. It increases the odds that every other risk, market volatility, inflation, taxes, has time to catch up with you. And what's worse, most online calculators, outdated rules of thumb, and even some traditional advisors still use outdated life expectancy assumptions. If you're healthy and in your 60s today, you need to be thinking about how to build income that can last 30 years, not 15. 2, sequence of returns risk. This is one of the most misunderstood risks in retirement. It's not just about how much you earn in the market, it's when you earn it. For example, let's say 2 retirees earn the same average return over 30 years, but one starts retirement with 3 bad years in the market, while the other starts with 3 great ones. The retiree who starts during a downturn could run out of money 10 years earlier than the other retiree, even though the long-term average was exactly the same. Why? Because they were forced to sell investments at a loss early on to generate income. This is where structure matters. Having the right buckets of income, short-term, mid-term, and long-term, can give you the flexibility to avoid selling when the markets are down. The wealthy avoid this risk by having stable income sources to draw from in down years, while letting their growth assets recover untouched. 3, inflation risk. Inflation might seem like a background issue until it's not. Over 20 or 30 years, even a modest 3% inflation rate could cut your purchasing power in half. Think about this. A $5 cup of coffee today could cost $10 or more by the time you're 80. A $75,000 annual retirement budget could require over $125,000 in the future just to maintain the same standard of living. The problem, most retirees focus on income today and not enough on keeping up with tomorrow. The growth bucket that we've talked about earlier becomes essential here, not for immediate spending, but for protecting your purchasing power over time. And it's not just general inflation, it's healthcare inflation, which, by the way, consistently outpaces every other category and often hits hardest in your later years. Part 2, how to create a sustainable income plan that lasts through 95 and beyond. Now that you understand the biggest risks that can break your income plan, let's walk through how to build a strategy that can outlast all of them. This isn't just about having enough money, it's about having the right structure so you don't have to guess and to worry or make panic decisions in your 70s or 80s. Here's how the most successful retirees, and yes, the wealthy, build income that lasts for decades. 1. Break retirement into stages, not just one big block. One of the biggest mistakes I see retirees treating income as a single 30-year chapter. But in reality, retirement has 3 phases. The go-go years, 60 to 75. You're active, traveling, spending more, and your income needs, they're going to be higher. The slow-go years, 75 to 80. Your spending tapers a bit and you're staying closer to home. And finally, the no-go years. That's over 85. Expenses shift to healthcare and support, but lifestyle spending decreases. Why does this matter? Because your income plan should align with each stage, not just an average it out over 30 years plan. We want to front load flexibility and maintain income stability in the middle and preserve resources for later years when healthcare costs can spike. This is how we keep your plan realistic and resilient, not rigid. 2, use a bucket strategy to time your withdrawals. We've covered this before, but it's worth repeating. If you're pulling your income from the wrong place at the wrong time, you could bleed your portfolio dry early on. Instead, break your assets into 3 purpose-driven buckets. Short term, that's a bucket that's 1 to 3 years of expenses in cash and cash-like assets. Mid-term, that's your income bucket, 5 to 10 years of stable income-producing assets like bonds, dividend payers, annuities. And long-term, that's your growth bucket, stocks, ETFs, Roth accounts, real estate, money you don't need for 10 years or more. This strategy gives you control over where you pull money from, especially during volatile markets. It also allows your long-term assets to grow, and that growth is what sustains you later in life. 3, use guardrails instead of guesswork. The old rule of thumb used to be withdraw 4% and adjust for inflation. But here's the problem. Real life isn't linear. Markets fluctuate and life happens and health changes. And inflation doesn't ask for your permission. Instead of a rigid rule, you want dynamic guardrails. What's the minimum you need to maintain your lifestyle? What's your comfortable level of spending? At what point would you slow down distributions? With these kind of guardrails in place, we can adjust your plan as needed without panicking every time the market dips or overspending during a bull run. This is how we protect your income and your peace of mind at the same time. 4, make taxes work in your favor, not against you. If you ignore taxes in retirement, you're handing the IRS a blank check. Here's what many people don't realize. Required minimum distributions, or RMDs, get larger over time. Social Security can be up to 85% taxable. Capital gains and IRMAA, or Medicare surcharges, can sneak up fast. So how do you fix that? By building a forward-looking tax plan in your 50s or early 60s, not waiting until you're forced to take RMDs at 73. We look at strategic Roth conversions, whether it's partial or doing it over time, using tax-efficient accounts for income, like brokerage accounts or Roth IRAs, managing capital gains and dividends to stay within your targeted tax brackets, coordinating withdrawals to avoid unnecessary tax cliffs. Tax planning is where you either lose hundreds of thousands or save hundreds of thousands over your retirement. So if there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's this. Your retirement income plan can't just be built to last until age 85. It needs to be built to outlive you and still support your lifestyle, your family, and your legacy. The biggest risk isn't running out of money at 95, it's not having a strategy in place at age 65. We've worked with hundreds of families to build retirement income plans that don't just project well on paper, but actually work in the real world through market volatility and changes in tax laws and rising health costs. Because retirement should give you peace of mind, not constant questions. If you're within 5 to 10 years of retirement and want a strategy that protects your income for life, click the link below and book a free call with our team. We'll walk you through your numbers, your timeline, and show you exactly how to structure your income to last through age 95 and beyond without running out, without guesswork, without losing sleep. I'm Mark Wisneski, president of Southern Incomes, and I'll see you in the next one.